Hey, welcome back. I was just thinking about the woods. Not the parks here in New York, but the deep, old woods. The kind that feel like they're holding their breath. The kind where the path behind you seems to vanish as soon as you take another step. It's a feeling I think we all know, that primal whisper telling us we're not entirely alone out there. But what if that whisper was a growl? And what if the thing you weren't alone with wasn't just an animal, but something else entirely? I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is the Unexplained Archive. Today, we're venturing into one of America's most infamous paranormal vortexes, a place where the rules of reality seem to fray at the edges. We're talking about the Bridgewater Triangle in southeastern Massachusetts. Over 200 square miles of swamp, forest, and quiet towns that have played host to UFOs, ghosts, poltergeists, and mysterious lights for centuries. But today, we're focusing on one of its most persistent and terrifying residents, the phantom hounds, the beasts that don't belong. The Bridgewater Triangle's corners are often marked by the towns of Abington, Freetown, and Rehoboth, with the ancient Hockomock Swamp, a name meaning place where spirits dwell, sitting right at its heart. This isn't just a modern spook story. Native American tribes long considered the area spiritually potent and dangerous. Colonists wrote of terrifying encounters, and the 20th and 21st centuries have done nothing but add to the ledger. But the reports that have always chilled me to the bone are the ones that describe creatures. Not just unknown animals, but things that feel wrong. Take the night in 1978, when a young man named Bill Russo was driving near the Hockomock Swamp. As his headlights cut through the mist, a creature loped across the road. He described it as massive, the size of a deer, but built like a canine. Its fur was dark, matted, but it was the head that stopped him cold. It had the pointed ears and snout of a dog or a wolf, but the face was almost human. It turned and looked at him with an intelligence that felt ancient and predatory before vanishing back into the swamp. He called it the Bridgewater Bear Wolf, but that doesn't quite capture it, does it? It's something that sits in the uncanny valley of the animal kingdom, a grotesque puzzle of features that shouldn't go together. Russo's story isn't unique. For decades, people have reported seeing oversized, wolf-like creatures with glowing red or amber eyes in the triangle. They're often seen pacing the edges of roads or staring from the tree line. They move with an unsettling silence, and they exhibit a behavior that separates them from any known predator. They don't seem to be hunting for food. They're just watching, patrolling. Some witnesses describe a feeling of overwhelming dread that precedes the sighting, a sense of being stalked by something that understands you're there long before you see it. Then there are the sounds. In the Freetown Fall River State Forest, another hotspot within the triangle, hikers and residents have reported hearing howls that defy explanation. Not the clear, mournful song of a timber wolf, but something more guttural, more chaotic. Sometimes it sounds like a pack, echoing from all directions, making it impossible to tell how many there are or where they are. Other times, it's a single, piercing shriek that cuts off abruptly, leaving a silence that's even more frightening. These are sounds that experienced outdoorsmen, hunters who know every call in the forest, say they have never heard before and cannot identify. So what are we dealing with here? The easy answer is to say people are seeing coyotes or feral dogs. And sure, in some cases, that's probably true. A large coyote in poor light can look monstrous. But the consistency of the descriptions, the sheer size, the unnatural eye shine, the reported human-like facial features, and the deep historical roots of these tales suggest something else is at play. Cryptozoologists might point to a surviving population of dire wolves, a prehistoric predator that shouldn't be here. Others whisper of shapeshifters, of ancient spirits taking bestial form. From my perspective as an engineer, I look for patterns and system failures. What if the triangle is a kind of system? A place where environmental factors, perhaps magnetic anomalies, subterranean gases, or even some undiscovered geological stress, interact with human perception in strange ways? Could it be amplifying fear, projecting our deepest archetypal terrors onto the landscape itself, making us see the literal big bad wolf? Or, more terrifyingly, could it be a thin place, a window, where things that belong to another set of rules occasionally slip through? I have to tell you, this idea resonates with me on a personal level. Growing up in Bangladesh, I heard stories of the Shikchuni, of jinns, entities that inhabit the unseen world, parallel to our own. The concept that certain places are doorways, or are just thinner, is woven into cultures all over the world. The Hockomock Swamp, the place where spirits dwell, fits that archetype perfectly. Maybe the phantom hounds aren't biological animals at all. Maybe they are manifestations of the land's trauma, or guardians of its secrets. Persistent, intelligent, and forever patrolling the border between what we know and what we fear. There's one more layer to this. The Bridgewater Triangle is also a place of human violence and tragedy, from ancient tribal battles to the unsolved murders in the Freetown Forest. Paranormal researchers often talk about a stone tape theory, that intense emotions can somehow imprint on a location. If that's possible, what imprints would be left by centuries of fear? Could the collective dread of every traveler who ever felt watched in those woods have taken on a form? The form of a hound with glowing eyes? It's a poetic and haunting thought that our own shared anxiety might be the very thing staring back at us from the darkness. The mystery of the Bridgewater Triangle's hounds endures because it's not just about sighting a strange animal. It's about the total experience, the oppressive silence of the swamp, the disorienting fog, the history that hangs in the air like the swamp gas itself, and then the piercing gaze of something that doesn't fit. It challenges our neat classification of the world. It tells us that there are still places on the map where the legend on the page reads, "Here, there be monsters." And perhaps that's the ultimate takeaway. In our modern, sensor-lit, GPS-mapped world, the Bridgewater Triangle and its hounds stand as a reminder that wilderness isn't just a physical space. It's a psychological one. It's the wild that remains inside us and around us, the ancient fear of what might be lurking just beyond the firelight. These stories, whether you believe them literally or see them as profound psychological metaphors, connect us to that raw, human instinct. They ask us to remember what it feels like to be part of the food chain, to listen to the old stories, and to acknowledge that some hollows are best left unexplored. Thank you for listening to this journey into the hollow. If these archives of the unexplained captivate you, please help others find them. Subscribe to the Unexplained Archive wherever you get your podcasts, and share an episode with a curious friend. This is a production of Light Knot Studios. You can find more stories and perhaps a few answers at lightknotstudios.com. Until next time, stay curious, but maybe keep a light on. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi. Good night.